I'm the Red Lady, and today in episode 3 of Hecate's Garden, I'm going to talk about the wonderful willow tree. So we'll take a look into all sorts of ways in which it can be used, and just a reminder that this video is for information purposes only and not meant to be taken as medical advice. Now, the willow that grows in my garden is known as a twisted willow, or a corkscrew willow, or a curly willow, and I think it's such a lovely tree to have in any garden. It's just gorgeous, and it can grow up to 40 foot tall, but I prefer to cut it back late in the autumn every year to keep it at a manageable size. Otherwise, it would just be far too big for my little garden and would probably grow taller than my house. Now, the leaves are long, slender and droopy, and the bark is a greyish brown colour. The branches, true to its name, grow in a wavy or a curly fashion, and after the tree is cut back in the late autumn, the branches can then be dried out and used decoratively. So there are lots of ways in which you can use a cut willow, and I've just used it to make a sort of little lighted area. All willows need lots of water and they thrive near watery places. So fortunately for me, all these houses where I live were built on a natural bog. And so some areas tend to get waterlogged in very wet weather, but the willow really enjoys this spot. And so do I, because boggy areas are natural portals for spirits to come and go more easily, and also gateways to the other world. So as a shamanic practitioner, I have learned how to naturally navigate this type of energy, which can be very tricky indeed, which is a very extremely watery energy. So when the mist settles here, it can get so thick that you sometimes can't see your hands if you hold them out at arm's length. And when you walk out of this estate up a slight hill there, you can literally walk out of the mist and then walk back down into it. It's a very strange place to live, but it suits me. And of course, the ancient Celts would use watery sites, I suppose like this one, to deposit their offerings. And there did used to be a lake nearby here, but it was filled in to build yet again more houses, sadly. So it's now June and it's a beautiful sunny day, and it's very dry at the moment. The grass is growing really tall. The weather we currently having is more like a dry August rather than a June, really. It's very unusually dry. But the willow tree is a wonderful ally for me living on this type of liminal land. And it was, in fact, gifted to me in a pot by my mother, who had enormous twisted willows growing on her property. She would simply snap off a branch, stick it in a pot, and it would grow. I did eventually transplant mine into the ground, and it's now, well, I think it's much happier anyway than being confined to a pot. Now, I'm far too excited about the spiritual and magical uses of this tree, and so that is what I will start with, and later on I will talk about its medical uses. And I did also find a rather simple and interesting spell, or rather hex, in which the willow can be used. Now, all sources and relevant links will be in the description box below. Please do subscribe, like and share. So first of all, the willow is one of the trees that is sacred to Hecate, along with other deities such as Artemis, Luna, Orpheus and Selene, to name but a few. And to the ancient Celts, it was known as the Tree of Enchantment and Mysteries, and it was also called the Tree of Immortality. Its gender is feminine, its planet is the moon, and its element is water. Now, many cultures associate the willow with sadness or loss. This is mostly what it's known for, hence the term weeping willow. But this was not the case with the Celtic culture, really. It was used to treat melancholy and help those who suffered misfortune, as it has an immense capacity for healing and new growth, as it takes root easily and grows fast, even when it's been uprooted and relocated elsewhere, whether naturally or by human hands. So its natural ability to bend as well under pressure rather than break relates to the ability to overcome adversity, and so it is linked to movement and optimism. So when the willow is cut, it quickly regrows again, representing the qualities of death and regeneration. And willow is well known for its powers of divination. It corresponds to the Ogham letter S and relates to intuition, dowsing, flexibility, healing, visions, imagination, the psychic faculties, secrets, and a connection to the spirit realm. It is very much a tree of the liminal way, as it prefers to grow on borders between land and water. That's mostly where you'll find it, watery places. So willow leaves can be carried to attract love, and the branches can be used to make a wand. I'm not a wand kind of practitioner, but I may make use of one of my willow branches to make a wand at some point. I mean, it'd be a shame not to, really. I think the twisted willow in particular would make an extremely attractive and powerful wand. All parts of the willow can be used in healing spells. You can use it to conjure spirits, and witches' broomsticks are traditionally bound with a willow branch. So I did find this spell called a Weeping Willow Hex, and this spell allegedly makes your enemy cry, weep and moan. Now, it's a very simple spell, and the first step is to obtain a willow branch. The second step is to water it for 9 days. So basically put it in a vase or a glass of water, and the 9 days then will give you time to consider your actions or reconsider. The whole 9 days, make sure the water doesn't evaporate, so keep it topped up. And the third and final step is then to pour that water after the 9 days on the front doorstep of your target to stimulate tears in that house. Now, that spell is from the Element Encyclopedia of 5,000 spells, and all sources used to or any relevant links will be listed in the description box below. So if you want to check those out, don't forget as well to subscribe, like and share. And now on to other uses. Willow wood is lightweight but tough, and is used to make furniture, doors, tool handles and baseball bats. Dried bark from a willow has analgesic, anti-inflammatory, anti-neuralgic, anti-rheumatic and astringent properties. It is used for arthritis, colds, fevers, headaches, cystitis and rheumatism. Now, white willow bark contains salicin or salicin, which is a chemical similar to aspirin, which accounts for its powerful pain-relieving properties. And so it was the salicin in the willow bark that actually formed the basis for the discovery of aspirin. Willow bark should not be used whilst taking aspirin, nor should it be used if you have any gastrointestinal issues or an ulcer. So always consult a healthcare professional before use. And I hope you enjoyed that rather shorter video on the Willow. I am the Red Lady, and thanks for listening to episode 3 of Hecate's Garden. Please do share, as it helps me out a lot, and don't forget to subscribe and check out the description box for relative links. Thanks.